Picture this. The internet's on fire again, fan pages buzzing, Reddit threads exploding, and headlines spinning faster than ever. The new claim? Benny Blanco is quietly pushing a wedge between Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber's family. He's not just her husband or musical partner anymore, he's allegedly rewriting her inner circle. And here's the shocking part. Insiders say it might actually be true. Let's break this down. What if the most intense part of this love triangle isn't about old feelings between Selena and Justin, but about who Selena is allowed to stay connected to? That's exactly what multiple insiders are whispering. Benny Blanco, according to these reports, has been subtly working to distance Selena from people still connected to Justin, from mutual friends to family ties. It's not loud or obvious. It's quiet, strategic, controlled. The whispers say he's been discouraging social invites that involve Justin's relatives, delaying RSVPs, and even suggesting that Selena skip certain events. One insider put it bluntly, Benny's making sure Selena doesn't have one foot in the past. But this isn't coming out of nowhere. For years, Selena's world and Justin's world were tangled together. Overlapping friend groups, shared events, mutual mentors. Even after their breakup, the lines blurred. There were still friendly texts, birthday messages, even polite check-ins between families. That all changed after Selena and Benny's marriage in Santa Barbara on September 27, 2025. The wedding, intimate, emotional, and star-studded, seemed to mark a clean slate. But now, months later, it looks like the clean slate might have come with some boundaries. People close to them claim the shift began slowly. Invitations stopped, including Justin's old friends. Selena's interactions with mutual acquaintances faded. Posts that once tagged old names quietly disappeared. Even her tone online changed. Softer, more private, but noticeably distant from the people who used to connect her to Justin's life. Some call it healing, others call it control. The biggest red flag came when fans noticed Selena had skipped a charity event where Justin's mom, Patty Millette, was expected to appear. Sources later said there was a heated debate behind the scenes about her attendance, with Benny reportedly insisting she stay home to avoid unnecessary energy. And that's where things took a darker turn. According to multiple sources, Benny's not just advising, he's curating. One insider described it like this: he's not cutting her off completely. He's reorganizing her circle so everything filters through him. That includes managing schedules, deciding which industry events she attends, and allegedly overseeing who gets access to her. Some mutual friends have even said they're no longer sure how to reach her, as if the walls around her have grown higher. It's not the first time fans have seen this pattern. When Selena released her emotional ballad years ago that fans tied to Justin, Benny reportedly wasn't thrilled. He believed that as long as that emotional thread existed, Selena could never fully move on. Since then, insiders claim he's been focused on removing every trace of the old era, emotionally, professionally, and now, socially. And then came the story that sent social media into chaos: Selena's birthday dinner. Photos leaked showing Benny checking the guest list days before the event, allegedly crossing out names linked to Justin's circle. Two of Selena's longtime friends, both previously close to the Biebers, were nowhere to be seen. Fans called it the guest list purge. The image spread everywhere and the comment sections turned brutal. Some said, he's protecting her peace. Others replied, he's protecting his control. Then came the silence, the kind of silence that screams. Selena stopped liking old friends' posts. People connected to Justin's circle stopped liking hers. And soon enough, the unfollows began. To the casual observer, it looked random. But to the fans who track every move, it was a digital breakup unfolding in real time. Now let's talk about how the rest of the players are reacting. Justin Bieber, for starters, isn't pretending not to notice. Fans spotted him posting cryptic captions like, "Lost connections never stay dead," and "Closure isn't the same as peace." Whether those words were about Selena or not, they landed like a thunderclap. Even his mom, Patty Millette, tried to reach out privately to congratulate Selena after the wedding, but according to sources, she never got a reply. One insider claimed Benny advised Selena to let old ties fade quietly. Since then, that friendly connection between the two families has completely vanished. Meanwhile, industry insiders say this shift is changing more than friendships. It's altering Hollywood's social landscape. Mutual acquaintances are now divided. Producers who once collaborated with both sides are stepping back, afraid to get dragged into personal drama. Some have even called Benny calculative behind closed doors, saying he's turning Selena's brand into a controlled narrative. Benny, however, seems unbothered. Those close to him describe him as calm, confident, and convinced he's doing the right thing. He reportedly tells friends he's helping Selena stay focused and protect her peace. But others see it differently, as strategic isolation disguised as self-care. And here's where the line gets blurry. Is Benny truly helping Selena detach from the noise of her past? Or is he rewriting her story in a way that keeps him at the center of it? Fans are split. Some believe he's her emotional anchor, the one who finally gave her safety and direction. Others worry she's becoming dependent on him, that her voice is getting quieter, her world smaller. Because when the people who once defined your past suddenly disappear, and every decision seems to go through someone else, fans start wondering if it's still love or quiet control. Whatever the truth is, it's clear this saga is far from over. Every unfollow, every post, every public appearance adds another piece to the puzzle. And the question remains, has Benny Blanco become Selena's protector or her puppeteer? Either way, the world is watching. If you've been following this story, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next move in this Hollywood chess game could change everything we thought we knew about Selena, Benny, and the ghosts of their past. Days after those rumors broke, the situation spiraled into something much bigger than anyone expected. At first, it was just gossip, but then something happened that made people believe there might be truth behind it. A photo leaked. Not just any photo. It was a picture taken backstage at an industry event. You could see Selena standing beside Benny, smiling politely, while two of Justin's longtime family friends stood just a few feet away. They looked like they wanted to say hello, but they didn't, and fans zoomed in on the detail. Benny's hand on Selena's back, his body angled just slightly between her and them. Within hours, the picture went viral with the caption, "He's not just beside her, he's blocking her." People started calling it the wall moment. Reddit threads exploded with theories. Was Benny just being protective? Or was this proof of what insiders had been saying? That he's intentionally keeping Selena from reconnecting with people tied to her past? Then, an anonymous entertainment assistant came forward with something even juicier. They claimed that at that same event, a quiet argument happened backstage between Benny and one of Justin's old mutual friends, a music producer who used to work closely with both Selena and Justin. According to the source, the tension was thick. The producer allegedly tried to greet Selena, but Benny stepped in and said she doesn't need that energy anymore. The story spread like wildfire. Fans were outraged. One tweet read, "That's not protection. That's possession." Another said, "Selena's glow is fading. Not because she's unhappy, but because she's being dimmed." But others defended him. She's been through enough. Maybe Benny's just making sure no one takes advantage of her again. Either way, the narrative was out of Benny's control now, and the next blow came when Justin's mom, Patty Millette, subtly entered the conversation. Without saying a word, she liked a tweet that said, "It's sad when someone erases the people who helped them become who they are." That single action sent social media into chaos. Every gossip outlet picked it up. Patty throws shade at Benny. Justin's mom breaks silence on Selena distance. The headlines wouldn't stop. Within hours, Patty unliked the post, but it was too late. The screenshots were everywhere. Fans started piecing together a narrative. Patty had reached out privately, been ignored, and now she was hurt. Meanwhile, Selena stayed quiet. Again. No tweets, no statements, no subtle quotes this time. Just stillness. But Benny? He doubled down. That weekend, he posted a carousel of photos with the caption, "Protect Peace." Even if people call it control, it was subtle, but everyone knew what it meant. The comment section exploded. Fans called it tone-deaf, manipulative, and self-righteous. Others saw it as a bold stand, proof that he was unfazed by the rumors and confident in his intentions. But things didn't stop there. A few days later, a close friend of Selena's, who hadn't been seen with her in months, posted a cryptic story that simply said, "Not everyone who says they love you wants you free." That post was deleted within an hour, but not before it got screen capped by thousands of fans. Now people were certain this wasn't just gossip anymore. Something was happening behind the scenes. TikTok detectives began mapping out Selena's shrinking circle. showing who she used to interact with weekly and who had now vanished from her feed. The list was long, and nearly all of them had some connection to Justin or his family. And just as fans were starting to turn on Benny completely, another twist dropped. A well-known entertainment columnist revealed that Benny had recently turned down a lucrative collaboration offer with one of Justin's close producer friends, claiming it would complicate things. The columnist ended the article with a chilling line. For Benny Blanco, loyalty seems to come with a price tag, and it's paid in distance. Now, the question wasn't just whether Benny was isolating Selena, but why? Was he genuinely trying to help her move on? Or was he afraid of the shadow her past still casts? Afraid that even in her peace, Justin Bieber's name still lingers louder than his own? Because for all of Benny's confidence and control, fans noticed something that couldn't be ignored. Every time his name trended, it wasn't for his music anymore. It was for Selena, and that's where things get complicated, because maybe the real tension isn't between Benny and Justin's world at all, but between Benny and his own reflection. Stay tuned, because in this story, every silence hides a strategy, and every smile might be a cover for something deeper. If you're still following this saga, hit like, drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next twist in this story might just turn Benny Blanco from the hero of Selena's piece into the villain of her legacy. By the next week, the rumor had become a full-blown Hollywood case study, whispered in studios, dissected by PR strategists, and trending on every gossip page imaginable. Then came the breaking point. A leaked text exchange surfaced online, supposedly between one of Selena's longtime stylists and a close friend of Justin's family. The messages showed the stylist venting that Benny doesn't let anyone near her anymore and that it's impossible to even schedule fittings unless he signs off first. No, one could prove the texts were real, but the language matched things insiders had been hinting at for months. Within hours, hashtags like our free Selena, our control or care, and Benny block list were everywhere. It wasn't just fans now. Major entertainment outlets were picking sides. A Rolling Stone culture writer dropped an op-ed titled, "When Love Turns Managerial, the Quiet Power Struggle Behind Selena's Glow." It argued that Benny's protective behavior echoed a pattern often seen in celebrity relationships, where privacy turns into control under the disguise of love. Meanwhile, Variety ran a counterpiece defending him, quoting anonymous producers who insisted Benny had simply created a bubble for creativity and healing, not isolation. One line went viral. "If peace looks like distance, maybe distance is exactly what she needed." But while the think pieces battled it out, fans noticed something far stranger. Selena's next scheduled live appearance, a charity concert in New York, was abruptly canceled. Her team cited health reasons. Then, a week later, she appeared on Instagram, live from home, smiling but visibly reserved, thanking fans for their support and saying she was in a season of quiet. That phrase, a season of quiet, became the internet's new obsession. Within hours, theories spread that it wasn't just a metaphor for peace. It was a subtle confirmation that Benny had taken control of her public exposure. Comment sections were filled with comments like, "She's not quiet, she's silenced." That's not serenity. That's strategy. Even former collaborators started chiming in indirectly. One songwriter posted on X, "When someone edits your verses before you can speak, that's not partnership." Fans immediately tied it to Selena's new era of co-produced music with Benny. At this point, every whisper felt like evidence. Then came the paparazzi moment that made everything explode again. Benny and Selena leaving a restaurant in LA. She looked distant, eyes on the ground. He walked ahead of her, phone in hand. The flashbulbs caught it all. The photos hit the internet with captions like, "The walk of control." But what nobody saw was what happened next. Just days later, Selena posted a photo of her and Benny in their kitchen, laughing, covered in flour, baking something together. The caption read, "You can believe what you see, or you can believe what's real." That single post flipped the internet on its head. Some fans breathed a sigh of relief. "See? She's happy. Let her live." Others weren't buying it. "This looks staged. Too perfect. Too timed." And then quietly, something happened that no one expected. Justin Bieber unfollowed Benny Blanco. No announcement, no statement, just one click and chaos followed. Screenshots flooded timelines. Theories multiplied. Some said Justin was drawing a boundary, others said it was personal, maybe even protective of his family. Whatever it meant, it was the digital equivalent of throwing gasoline on an already burning fire. Because now, for the first time, the tension wasn't just between fans, it was between the men themselves. Rumors swirled that industry events were becoming uncomfortable, that if Benny entered a room, Justin would quietly leave. One insider described it as a cold war in the same city. And through it all, Selena kept posting messages about peace, healing, and alignment, but fans couldn't tell if those words were her own or part of the image she was being pushed to protect. Then, in a move no one saw coming, Taylor Swift subtly entered the chat. She liked a post from a fan page that said, "Protect your peace doesn't mean isolate your heart." People went wild, calling it an indirect message of concern towards Selena. If that's true, it means even her closest allies are starting to see what the fans have been saying for months, that Benny's version of peace might come at too high a price. At this point, one thing's clear. The story is no longer about exes or jealousy. It's about control, influence, and the fine line between love and power. And as Selena's team stays silent and Benny's reputation walks that razor's edge, the world is left asking the same question over and over again. Has Benny Blanco protected Selena from her past or built a new cage around her future? Because the next post, the next public appearance, even the next song lyric could finally reveal which version of this story is true. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because the next chapter in this Hollywood saga isn't just gossip. It's the battle for who gets to write Selena Gomez's story.